I look forward each week to our short visit, and I hope you do as well. Today we're going to be looking at a few verses from Romans 8, beginning at verse 18. I hope you have your Bibles in hand and can turn there and read those verses with me. Paul ends verse 17 with the statement that since we're children of God, we're heirs of God and joint heirs with Christ. Imagine that for a minute or two. Almost beyond comprehension, isn't it? But then he puts a condition there. He said, provided we suffer with him in order that we may also be glorified with him. The Apostle Paul had suffered many, many things. He had been shipwrecked. He had been beaten 5 times with rods. He was stoned one time and dragged outside the city for dead, plus a lot of other persecutions. But Paul says in verse 18, he said, I consider that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory that is to be revealed in us. Paul had an insight and an anticipation of the glory that's going to be revealed, not only to him, but to us as well. And he said the suffering that he endured, and we do too, the Bible says that all that would live godly in Christ Jesus will suffer persecution. But Paul says that's counted as nothing to be compared with the glory that's going to be revealed in us. Then he goes on in verse 19 to say that this glory that we will experience, the creation is looking forward to as well. It says, for the creation waits with eager longing for the revealing of the sons of God. Bible scholars are pretty well agreed that the creation means all of nature except human beings. Human nature looks forward to a time when it will be restored, a time that Paul says at the same time of the revealing of the sons of God. Verse 20 says, for the creation, all nature, was subjected to futility. That took place, as you probably know, that you can read about in Genesis 3, when Adam and Eve sinned, God cursed the earth. As he goes on to say about creation, not willingly, it wasn't any fault of creation, but it was punishment for the sin of Adam and Eve. But God cursed the earth, and it's been under that curse ever since. He says that that was done because of him, that is God, who subjected it. And then he says it's in hope. God gave some hope to all nature lower than us. He says the hope is that the creation itself will be set free from its bondage to decay. Now, that doesn't mean that it'll be set free just by wiping it out of existence. For he goes on to say that it will be set free to obtain the freedom of the glory of the children of God. If I understand that correctly, that is saying that all nature that was cursed in the beginning or close to the beginning will one day somehow be restored and enjoy and share in the glory that will be revealed in the sons of God. Verse 22 says, for we know that the whole creation has been groaning together in the pains of childbirth until now. The pains of childbirth always look forward to something better that will cover that pain and make the woman who brought the child into existence forget about the pain because of the child that's now in her arms. And so it seems that Paul is saying that, yes, God cursed the earth, but one day, like childbirth, it will be brought to something better. Verse 22 says, for we know that the whole creation has been groaning together. I read that in the pains of childbirth until now. And not only the creation, but we ourselves Paul draws a very clear distinction between all nature and us. So when he says the creation, he has to be talking about something other than human beings. And that leads me, as I've said, to believe that the creation referred to here is all of nature except human beings. Not only is the creation groaning for something better, so are we, who, as he says, has the first fruits of the Spirit. At our baptism, we're promised not only forgiveness of sins, but that we will receive the gift of the Holy Spirit. And in Ephesians 1, it's referred to as an earnest, a down payment, a foretaste of something yet to come. And you know what happens when you get just a bite of a delicious pie. You want more. So God has given us a foretaste of what is yet to be given to us to make us want more, and certainly we do. And we, as he goes on to say in verse 23, groan inwardly like creation as we wait eagerly for the adoption as sons. Well, in this very chapter previously, Paul has already said we're sons of God. What does he mean here? Well, he goes on to explain. He says the redemption of our bodies. That's another level of the foretaste. That's another level of the reward. There's a place that says that he will change our vile bodies into the likeness of Christ's body. Christ's body coming out of the grave was a bit different from the one that was put in the grave. And certainly our bodies at the resurrection will be, somewhat different than what was laid in the grave in the first place. And Paul says we're looking forward to that. And it says, for in this hope we were saved. When we were converted, when we were born again, when we were saved from our sins, we're granted this hope of something much better. And we all eagerly look forward to that. He says, now hope that is seen is not hope. For who hopes for what he sees? It's not something you hope for. It's something you can hold in your hand. But if we hope for what we do not see, we wait for it with patience. We here on this earth at this time wait for and eagerly look forward to the second coming of Christ. It impresses me that how anxiously the first century Christians looked forward to that. And I wonder if we today look forward to the Lord's return with as much anxiousness as they did. I hope that we do. This world is not our home. As the song says, we're just passing through. Now, I mentioned that we really don't know exactly when God is going to fulfill the promise of giving even nature the freedom of the glory of the children of God. But we might have an answer in the phrase, a new heaven and a new earth. You'll find that phrase 4 times in your Bible. 2 of them are found in the book of Isaiah, Isaiah 65:17 and Isaiah 66:22. But another one is found, and I hope you will turn with me to 2 Peter chapter 3, where Peter has described pretty much in detail what's going to happen to this heaven and this earth. He simply says it's going to be burned up. But in verse 13 of 2 Peter chapter 3, he says, but according to his promise, we're waiting for new heavens and a new earth in which dwelleth righteousness. Now, I'm not real sure, to be honest with you, exactly when and how God is going to do that. He can do that by completely burning up and destroying the present earth and creating another one like he did this one in the first place. He may simply renovate and renew this one, but anyway, he has promised that there will be a new heaven and a new earth, not only for us to enjoy, but in Romans 8, it seems to clearly indicate that all nature will enjoy, maybe be returned like it was in the Garden of Eden. I'm not sure. I'd like you to turn on to the book of Revelation, chapter 21, and we find that phrase again about a new heaven and a new earth. Revelation 21 verse 1 says, John says, Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth had passed away, and the sea was no more. And I saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, Behold, the dwelling place of God is with man. He will dwell with them, and they will be his people, and God himself will be with them as their God. Again, I must say, I'm not real sure exactly when and how that will be, but I do believe it will take place. God, of course, already has that figured out, and he will do what he has planned. The main thing for me and for you to do is simply to be ready to enjoy that with him. How we live here on earth will determine our eternal destiny. So I would certainly urge you to become a Christian, to be a Christian, and be prepared to enjoy that new heaven and that new earth. Thank you for being with me. I enjoy it. I hope you do as well. May God bless you.